This is a film which begins in Europe. It just says Europe blankly because it plays into this American right-wing stereotype, Piers, that you've tried to push back against on your show, that a lot of right-wing Americans think Europe is some crime-ridden, immigrant-infested, violent dystopia, when in fact the United States has a higher violent crime rate, higher murder rate than every single member state of the EU. Uwe filmed the film in Croatia, I believe, which is one of the safest places in the world. I think they only had like 23 murders in 2023. So
today, we are diving straight into an absolute mainstream media meltdown. Mehdi Hasan just went toe-to-toe with director Uwe Boll over a movie so dangerous and hateful it was actually banned in Germany. And Elon Musk is out here actively weaponizing it to hundreds of millions of people online. Trust me, you do not want to miss how this unfolds. Before we roll the tape, do me a massive favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe to join the channel, and drop a comment right now letting me know exactly where you are watching from in the world today. Make sure you lock in and watch this video all the way until the end, because the dark reality Mehdi exposes gets deeper by the second, and you need the full picture. I'm going to roll the clip for you right now, and my full, uninterrupted reaction and breakdown will be waiting for you the exact moment it ends. Let's get into it.
Okay,
So,
I mean, look,
yeah.
just obviously a lot of people have taken grave exception to this movie. Todd Gilchrist of Variety called the film a violent, incoherent, morally bankrupt slice of exploitation, saying it's so astonishingly bad it felt like Boll is deliberately sabotaging his star. Rod Dreher of the American Conservative magazine called it a fascist film. What do you say to those who have really, got very angry about this and believe that you're inciting violence against Muslims?
No, I don't. I think the film is also a warning. You need to listen to your own population. We cannot have this kind of, first of all, to these reviewers, I can say they always trashed my movies. They just hate me because I'm not like this kind of filmmaker who bends over to this system, to the Hollywood system. I did 40 independent movies, but with big stars and Oscar winners from Ben Kingsley, Jason Statham, whatever, J.K. Simmons. So they don't like me. That establishment doesn't like me because I make movies like straight in your face. So, and as I said, I did that in various movies. The South on Wall Street, Against the Bankers, 2008, and so for me, it's not a question about left or right. I'm not a member in a political party or something. I felt furious about the ignorance in Germany specifically also about real crime. And then people are getting away with it. They go like probation. They go 10 months in jail for rapes and knife stabbings. It's insane. You need to enforce the law, and you need the citizens of a country that need to be safe, and
Okay.
all this movie reviews, I don't really take them serious.
Okay, well, let me bring in Mehdi Hasan. Mehdi, welcome back to Uncensored. Look, there are myriad movies which are very violent and involve different groups being targeted by psychopaths and killers and so on. What makes this, in your eyes, what makes this different and unacceptable?
Yeah, great question. And a lot's been said, so let me try and answer that and respond to what Uwe Boll has been saying. A couple of things. Number one, I like a good revenge thriller. I like action films. I like low-budget films as well. I love a Jason Statham movie, a Liam Neeson movie, even Steven Seagal. But this is not that. This is certainly not a Taxi Driver or a Raging Bull. It's 90 minutes of my life I'll never get back. It's not a good film. You mentioned the Variety review. They said astonishingly bad. I would add comically bad. It's just an awful film with no real plot line, and the dialogue is awful, and the action is awful, and the explosions are bad. But I'm not here to be a film reviewer. Uwe has already said film critics don't like him. They've called him the world's worst director. That's not my thing. I'm not a film critic. I'm not here to give my opinions on the aesthetics of the film. I am worried about what the film says and what message it sends and who's promoting it, Elon Musk. I wouldn't be sitting here, Piers, talking about this film. You wouldn't be doing this segment. I didn't write a Guardian article about it if it wasn't for Elon Musk. With the greatest of respect to Uwe Boll, he makes a lot of films. We're talking about this one because Elon Musk amplified it to 240 million people on X, on Twitter. He promoted it. He says he might fund a sequel.
And took it to number one in digital purchase charts on Apple and Amazon. So it's made it a big hit, which is great. Great, of course, for Uwe Boll, but not necessarily if you don't like the movie.
So it's not about whether you like the movie or not. Why is Elon Musk promoting it, Piers? That is the question I want to answer. And then you get into the content of the film and the messaging is far-right propaganda. It is anti-Muslim. I'm glad Uwe Boll has Muslim friends, but this is a fundamentally anti-migrant, anti-Muslim film. This is a film which begins in Europe. It just says Europe blankly because it plays into this American right-wing stereotype, Piers, that you've tried to push back against on your show, that a lot of right-wing Americans think Europe is some crime-ridden, immigrant-infested, violent dystopia, when in fact the United States has a higher violent crime rate, higher murder rate than every single member state of the EU. Uwe filmed the film in Croatia, I believe, which is one of the safest places in the world. I think they only had like 23 murders in 2023. So let's just deal with this moral panic about crime, about immigrant crime. And then the film itself, it does advocate for vigilantism. The guy in it, Michael Sanders, the protagonist played by Armie Hammer, he murders an entire migrant family in cold blood at the end of the movie. Sorry to do a spoiler, but it's all over the internet. These are the clips that are being promoted on Twitter by Elon Musk's acolytes. They're gleefully sharing a clip of a guy murdering a father, mother, son, and daughter because the son apparently is a rapist. So he kills the entire family. I mean, that is an insane message to send in a film. Not just to send in a film, and I know I've seen an interview Uwe did where he said he doesn't support that scene. He put it in there to shock us, which is his right as an artist. But that's not how it's being used online, Piers. It's being promoted online. When Elon Musk, Piers, is sharing, he's retweeting people saying this is the moderate response. That's what he retweeted. The moderate response to murder an entire family. He retweeted another guy who said, hang the traitors first, i.e. the white judges, which is what the guy in the movie does, and then kill the invaders or kill the criminals. I mean, this is insane rhetoric for the richest man in the world, the most followed man in the world to be doing. At a time, I should add, when Muslims and migrants are being attacked in Scotland, in England, in America, in a mosque in San Diego, in Germany, right? There are attacks on Muslims and migrants happening every day. I don't think we need this kind of messaging amplified by Elon Musk at a time when there is massive civil disturbance already. It's just incitement, I'm sorry.
To give you some context, Citizen Vigilante is basically a 21st century death wish where Armie Hammer plays Sanders, a businessman turned vigilante who goes on a manhunt that largely targets immigrants. It's so repugnant and explicitly anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim that Germany actually blocked it from theaters. What makes this even more insane is that even the star of the film is horrified by what it became. Armie Hammer took the role because his career collapsed in 2021 and he was so desperate for a paycheck he admitted he would have done a expletive cat food commercial. Boll apparently worked frantically off a slim 50-page script, and when Hammer finally saw the finished product, he was reportedly in tears, calling it hateful and disgusting and saying it wasn't the movie he thought they were making. But the real danger, and the glaring hypocrisy that Mehdi beautifully drags into the light, is how the far right and the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, are actively weaponizing this garbage. Mehdi makes it clear that we wouldn't even be talking about this low-budget shock film if Elon Musk hadn't posted the entire movie directly on X for 2 days, pushing this anti-Muslim propaganda to his massive audience. Musk's promotion single-handedly drove Citizen Vigilante to #1 on Apple and Amazon streaming charts, effectively turning it into a right-wing core célèbre and prompting Boll to start working on a sequel. And Musk did this shortly after facing severe criticism for amplifying rhetoric linked to real-world anti-immigrant riots in Belfast. The film plays directly into the manufactured right-wing panic that Europe is some immigrant-infested violent dystopia, completely ignoring the fact that the United States has a higher violent crime and murder rate than every single EU member state. They filmed this thing in Croatia, one of the safest places on earth, which had a mere 23 murders in the entire year of 2023. The hypocrisy is staggering, but it gets infinitely sicker when Mehdi exposes the actual climax of the film. The protagonist literally murders an entire migrant family, a father, a mother, a son, and a daughter, in cold blood. And what is the far-right's online response to the slaughter of an entire family? Elon Musk is out here retweeting acolytes who are gleefully sharing the clip and calling it a moderate response, while promoting insane rhetoric like hang the traitors first, then kill the invaders. Mehdi is completely spot on. This isn't just an edgy revenge thriller. It is blatant, dangerous incitement to violence being mainstreamed by a billionaire at a time when real-world, daily attacks are already happening against Muslims and migrants in Scotland, England, America, and Germany. Mehdi didn't just look at a movie. He exposed a sick propaganda machine designed to promote real-world bloodshed, and it's about time someone called it exactly what it is. And that is exactly why this situation is so incredibly dangerous. Mehdi put it perfectly, and we cannot afford to look away while this kind of rhetoric gets mainstreamed. But I want to hear from you. What are your honest thoughts on Elon Musk actively pushing this kind of content to the masses? Let me know in the comments below. If you appreciated this breakdown, make sure to slam that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Stay sharp, and I'll see you guys in the next video.